Okay, let's dive into something I think uh, a lot of us feel. Have you ever had that sense that the days are just blurring?
Mm-hmm. Like you're just going through the
Yeah,
motions.
exactly. Caught in a loop, maybe feeling a bit stuck or like life's kind of happening over there without the meaning or excitement you were hoping for.
That whole wake up, work, scroll, sleep, repeat cycle.
Yeah, it's this feeling of inertia, right? Like being slightly
It
disconnected.
really is. And it can creep up on you, can it? It's not always a big dramatic thing.
Totally. And that's precisely what we're exploring today. We're using source material. You brought in some excerpts from the English Leap
All
podcast.
right. And the core theme running through it is this really powerful idea about stopping the waste of life.
So, our mission for this deep dive is to take that material you've got and, well, really unpack it
Yeah, pull out the most important nuggets, the surprising bits, the useful analogies, and crucially, the practical things you can actually do.
to help you see those subtle ways time and potential can just slip away.
And importantly, how to fight back against that.
Okay.
How to grab the steering wheel again.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. No time to waste, appropriately enough.
Huh, right. Well, one of the first big points in the material is how often something that feels like patience
Hmm.
is really just inaction.
Yeah, the deception of waiting. That really landed with me. The source says when we tell ourselves, "Oh, I'm just waiting for the right moment," or "I need more confidence first," or "I'll start when I'm really ready."
Hmm.
Often that's not actually waiting for something real.
It's just wasting time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The analogy they used was so good, like sitting at a train station telling yourself you're definitely going somewhere.
But you haven't bought a ticket.
Right. You never bought the ticket. That perfect moment you're waiting for, it's probably not coming. And while you're sitting there waiting, life's just rolling past.
And it connects so clearly to things like learning English, which the source mentions specifically. People waiting until they magically feel fluent before they dare speak. Oh, definitely. But the material makes such a great point. Fluency isn't some feeling you suddenly inherit.
It's something you build.
You build it, like brick by brick. You don't wait for the whole house to appear before laying the first one, right?
Makes sense.
But that waiting feels safer, doesn't it? It
Ah.
shields you from maybe messing up or feeling awkward.
Yeah, the discomfort of trying.
Exactly. So the message is pretty blunt, especially with something like English. Stop waiting. Just speak. Now. Even if it's messy.
Because that messy action is the building process.
Precisely. That's where it happens.
Okay, so if waiting is one big trap, what about the smaller stuff? The material talks about tiny invisible leaks.
Yes, moving from the big, obvious waiting to the more subtle, everyday ways we lose our time and energy.
Like scrolling endlessly on our phones.
That's a classic example. Or, procrastinating on small tasks, getting lost in distractions that don't really add anything. These things don't feel like huge life mistakes in the moment.
No, you think, oh, just 5 more minutes, or I'll do that later. But the analogy the source uses is quite stark, isn't it?
The ship analogy.
Yeah.
Even the biggest, strongest ship will eventually sink if you ignore enough tiny leaks.
It's not sudden. It happens over time.
Gradually. Each little mindless moment, each postponed action, it adds up. It feels easy, maybe even relaxing at the time.
But it's draining you.
It's subtly draining your capacity, your focus, your energy. And then you look back and wonder where the time went. Those leaks really accumulate.
Oh, so what's the advice there?
Well, the material suggests a really simple challenge. Just track 1 hour of your day, honestly. See where your time and energy are actually going.
Just 1 hour.
Just one. It can be surprisingly eye-opening. You start to see how much of that tiny wasting sneaks in without you noticing.
And noticing is the first step to plugging those leaks, I guess.
Exactly. Protecting that energy, even in small ways, is key to actually moving forward on the things that matter to you.
Okay, so we have waiting, we have tiny leaks. But sometimes, the source suggests, the issue is something else hiding in plain sight. Like, fear wearing a costume.
Yes, this is a really insightful point. It's about recognizing when activities that look productive are actually driven by fear.
Like what? Making huge, elaborate plans.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
Big study plans, color-coded everything, buying fancy planners, doing endless research about doing the thing.
Right, it feels like you're getting ready, like you're being diligent.
It feels safe,
Yeah.
feels like preparation, But the source argues it's often just stalling. It's fear dressed up because you're scared of actually starting the real work.
The messy part.
The part where you might not be perfect immediately.
Yeah.
The swimming pool analogy they used was spot on.
Yeah, standing at the edge, analyzing the water temp.
Researching the best dive technique for hours when really you just need to jump in.
All that prep is just fear whispering, maybe wait a bit longer.
Let's just prepare more. Indefinitely, perhaps.
So you end up being a professional planner instead of a doer.
Exactly. And you deserve more than that. So the challenge that comes out of this is really direct.
Don't just plan it.
Do it. If it's English you're learning, don't just plan your study schedule. Say something. Speak one sentence out loud. Today.
Just one, even if it feels awkward.
Especially if it feels awkward. The point isn't perfection. It's breaking through the fear barrier with action. The longer you only plan, the scarier starting gets.
That makes a lot of sense. And fear ties into the next trap too, right? The comfort zone cage.
Yeah, they work together often. Comfort zones sound nice, don't they? Warm, safe, familiar.
But the warning in the material is pretty stark. Stay too long.
And that comfort turns into a cage, a confinement.
How does that happen? It sounds counterintuitive.
It's insidious because it's gradual. Your world just starts to shrink little by little. You don't always notice the walls closing in at first. The image used is powerful, like you're in a cozy room. It feels great. But then slowly, the windows get boarded up, the lights dim.
And suddenly you realize you can't move freely.
Exactly. You can't breathe properly. And the longer you put off stepping outside that shrinking space, whether it's trying that clumsy English phrase or pitching an idea or whatever, feels scary.
The harder it gets to leave.
Right. Because fear, as the source says, doesn't just shrink on its own. You have to actively push through it.
So the challenge there is about pushing those boundaries.
Consciously. Even just a tiny bit. If English feels scary, learn one new phrase that feels a little intimidating. And then
Use it.
use it. Today. Don't wait for courage to magically show up. Generate it by acting.
Okay, so while we're busy navigating all these things, waiting, leaks, fear, comfort zones, what's happening to our actual dreams? The big things we want someday.
This part of the source material is quite poignant, maybe a little tough to hear.
What is it?
It's the idea that dreams don't just sit there patiently on a shelf waiting for you.
They don't.
No. The suggestion is they can actually decay.
Hmm.
Quietly, without any big warning signs.
Decay. Like how?
The analogy is like a piece of fruit. A beautiful piece of fruit on your counter. You fully intend to eat it later.
Okay.
But later keeps getting pushed back. Tomorrow, the next day, by the time you finally go to grab it.
It's rotten. Gone.
Exactly. The dream was real, the intention was good, but the delay,
Yeah.
the inaction, let it decay.
Wow. So it's not failure that kills dreams.
Not usually, according to this perspective. Trying and stumbling. That's learning. That's progress. What really ruins dreams is delay. Inaction.
Just letting them fade.
So the call to action here is simple but potent. Think of one dream, something you really want, and then take one messy, imperfect action towards it today.
Why messy and imperfect?
Because messy action is still action. Perfect inaction achieves nothing. Messy action moves you forward, even just an inch. And that movement can save a dream from just fading away.
Messy action saves dreams. I like that.
It's powerful. And if you find yourself still hesitating, maybe thinking, well, someone just pushed me, or if I just had the right teacher or course.
Yeah. Waiting for that external push or permission.
The material has a very direct message about that.
Let me guess.
No one's coming. Pretty much. No one's coming to rescue you. Not an app, not a guru, not even this deep dive, really, unless you act on it.
That sounds a bit harsh. Or maybe just realistic.
It can feel like a burden at first, maybe, but the source reframes it beautifully.
So?
You are the captain and the crew of your own ship. It's your hand on the steering wheel, your voice learning the words, your courage showing up, even when it's shaky.
So if I'm the one steering?
Then you have the power. It's not a burden, it's liberating. You can change course anytime you decide to. The power isn't out there waiting to be found. It's right here with you.
That's actually a really empowering way to look at it.
Absolutely. And a simple practice suggested is just to actively encourage yourself.
Like give myself a pep talk.
Sort of. Maybe write a short journal entry in English, perhaps, if that fits your goal. Just acknowledge your effort. A little note like, hey, I'm trying. I showed up today. I'm proud of that.
Yeah. Because no one else knows the effort like you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be your own best cheerleader sometimes. Just hearing it from yourself can make a difference.
Okay, so pulling all these threads together, the waiting, the leaks, the fear costumes, the comfort cages, the decaying dreams, the underlying solution seems to be
Action. Simple as that, really.
action is the answer.
Action is presented as the ultimate antidote to regret.
Ah, regret. That's a heavy one.
It is. And the perspective here is that deep regret usually doesn't come from trying something and having it not work out.
Where does it come from then?
It comes from not even trying, from staying stuck,
Mm.
waiting, doubting, being still while life happens around you.
And like the leaks, it probably builds up slowly.
Just like dust gathering in a corner you ignore.
Yeah.
It's quiet at first. Then one day you look up and realize how long you've been stagnant, how many opportunities might have passed.
So the crucial point is,
Regret doesn't come from doing things badly. It comes from doing nothing at all.
that's powerful.
And the flip side is that movement, any movement, even if it feels clumsy or awkward, creates momentum.
It's energy.
It's energy. It's life force getting re-engaged. That's why the material uses that great phrase, motion beats meditation when it comes to change.
So thinking about changing isn't enough.
Not on its own. You don't find readiness by thinking more. You build readiness by doing small, courageous things every day.
Even if your voice shakes when you speak English.
Especially then. That shaky voice means you chose courage over comfort in that moment. That counts double.
Okay, so what's the final challenge then? The ultimate action step.
It's incredibly simple and actionable. Record a short voice clip, maybe 30 seconds, in English.
About what?
Anything. Your coffee, the weather, a random thought. The topic doesn't matter.
And don't worry about how it sounds.
Don't judge it. Don't overthink it. Just
Yeah.
celebrate the fact that you did it. You spoke.
The victory is in the action itself.
Exactly. You moved. You
Yeah.
acted. That's how you build momentum. That's how you starve regret. Every tiny action, every word spoken, that's you actively refusing to waste your life.
That's you building it, brick by brick.
Brick by brick. Couldn't have said it better.
Right. And to help really cement these ideas, the source material also provided a list of key vocabulary, useful words that came up.
Yeah, let's quickly run through those with the definitions and examples exactly as they were given. It's good reinforcement.
Okay, first up, trap, meaning a situation that tricks you and holds you back.
In the example, buying things you don't need just because they're on sale is an easy trap to fall into. Makes sense.
Next, momentum, meaning the force that keeps you moving once you start.
Example, after going to the gym for 1 week, she gained momentum and wanted to keep going every day. That feeling of being on a roll.
A doubt, a feeling of not being sure about something.
Example, he had some doubt before his big exam, but he gave it his best anyway, doing it despite the doubt.
Rescue, meaning to save someone or something from danger or trouble.
Example, the firefighter rescued the kitten from the burning house. That idea of saving something.
Encourage, to give someone support, confidence, or hope.
Example, her friend encouraged her to join the dance competition, giving that boost.
Antidote, something that fixes or stops a bad feeling or situation.
Example, laughter is often the best antidote to a stressful day. Like action is the antidote to regret.
Courageous, brave, and willing to take risks.
Example, it was courageous of him to apologize first after the argument, taking that brave step.
Whisper, to speak very softly.
Example, she whispered the secret into her best friend's ear. Like fear might whisper doubts.
Decay, to slowly get worse or break down.
Example,
Yeah.
without sunlight and water, the plant started to decay, like those untended
To
dreams.
guide or control the direction of something.
Example, he carefully steered the car through the heavy rain, like steering your own life.
Liberating, making you feel free and relieved.
Example,
Mhm.
quitting the job she hated was the most liberating decision she ever made. Like realizing you're in control is liberating.
Anchor, something that keeps you steady or grounded.
Example,
Yeah.
his morning routine became an anchor during stressful times, something that holds you firm.
And last one, burden. A heavy load, physical or emotional.
Example, she felt a huge burden lift off her shoulders after telling the truth. That feeling of weight.
So thinking about these words, maybe even using them, could help lock in these concepts. And boost your English too, obviously.
Definitely. So wrapping this up, the core message from your source material really sings out, doesn't it?
It really does. The power is in your hands.
You're the captain. And those small, consistent actions, even the messy ones, that's the way through.
Through the waiting, the leaks, the fear, the comfort zones.
And away from regret. Keep that hand on the wheel. Keep moving. Keep speaking up.
Because your time, your potential, It's just too precious to waste.
Stop waiting.
Start living.
Absolutely.
And maybe one final thought to leave you with, something directly from these ideas. What's one tiny, courageous action, maybe even a messy one, that you can take today to start building that momentum, to prove to yourself right now that you are indeed at the helm of your own ship?